mic.
I was super quiet in the last one.
Yeah, because you were doing this
Yeah.
instead of that.
That's what I figured you would say when I said that.
Well, you were lying down, and I saw you doing it. You were like...
Yeah, but you didn't say anything because... I know.
I'm increasingly gonna... You're just gonna live with your mic. How you sound like I don't...
I get it. That's exactly what I figured was happening when I listened to it. I was like, I bet I hadn't had my mouth, and Jeff was like, live with your own consequences.
Yo ho ho, it's time for the Bodie Show. Living on the water is the only life we know. Yo ho ho ho, it's time for the Bodie Show.
Dead Rise.
Yes.
And Power Planes.
Oh, yeah. Someone's kitchen's being redone behind us.
Yeah, because we're together in Philadelphia. We're in the space formerly known as the playroom, which is...
You should just call it the sunroom.
But it's on the north side of the house, so it doesn't get sun.
Okay, well,
Except
it's south of the river. It's literally why I came here. I escaped the ice storm room. We call it that.
Yeah, this is the ice storm escape room. Escape rooms are hot these days, I hear. I don't want to do that though. Do you want to do an escape room?
I want to escape the ice storm.
We should start escape boat. Like, you got to get off this boat instead of escape rooms.
Oh my God, I don't know what to say about that.
Why?
I don't know. There's
Makes
so many
you think
ways to
about
go.
Shipwrecks?
Sort of. And then also, I think if we did that would be good because you'd finally get off the boat and into the water, and you'd have to get a floaty toy.
I don't want a floaty toy. I'll get on a paddleboard and go away. Everybody's don't make me
Do anything?
Oppositional defiance disorder.
I know.
It's not a real thing. However, I appear to have it.
But yeah, I did. Yes, we're here in Philly because it was an ice storm at the river and it was 80 degrees here. So
yeah.
I
Just go where it's better.
Yeah.
That's a good thing about boats.
Uh-huh.
We do that on the river sometimes. Like, it's like, oh, looks like there might be a storm over there. Let's not go there.
We also definitely, at least I definitely go where the wind is less on a regular basis.
Mm-hmm.
That's something we do a lot. Like, where's the wind? Where should we go based on where's the wind?
Go where it's better.
Yeah.
Yet another reason why we enjoy pleasure boating. We got some pictures from Kimberly and Patrick from their... They were away from... They escaped the ice storm and went to Georgia, apparently.
Yeah, it looked like Georgia on a man-made lake, they said.
Right.
Trying out a man-made lake. That's all we know.
Yeah, and the only pictures that were taken of Patrick, he had what he described as resting boat face. And he just looked sour and dour.
And you pointed out that it was supposed to be pleasure boating. Yeah.
And that, yes, it's called pleasure boating.
Everybody keep that in mind. It's pleasure boating, so have a good time.
Have fun. All right.
Let's go. We don't have much time.
Dead Rise. What have you learned?
Okay. So this morning I was scrolling through my phone, which now is more boaty than it used to be, thanks to this podcast. And I came up with this little piece on Dead Rise, right? So I was looking at it and I thought Dead Rise, what does that mean? Is that how far the edge of the hull is off the water? But that's sheer.
That's freeboard. Sheer
is the line at which it moves one way or the other. Yeah.
Yep. The gunnel is the physical part of the boat that makes the sheer. The sheer is the line from bow, front to stern, back. You could have sweeping sheer, which could sweep up or down, depending on where you are. You could have reverse sheer. Typically, sheer is like a U shape. It goes from high at the bow to lower in the middle to high at the stern.
A little higher at the stern.
People call that sweeping sheer.
Okay.
But we're not here to talk about sheer. We're here to talk about Dead Rise.
Right. So Dead Rise, as I have learned, is what I would call the V-ish shape on the bottom of the, or the amount of V, if you will, on the bottom of the boat, which changes from stern to bow. So I think the point in the beginning of the article was that if somebody says, what's the dead rise, somebody might answer with 20% or something, but
20 degrees.
Or 20 degrees, sorry. Yeah, 20 degrees. But it's not a one, it's generally not a one thing kind of an answer because it's usually different from front to back, so think about, the back of my boat is pretty darn flat, but it's a down easty hull.
Yes.
So it's pretty flat, but it has a little bit of a V, and then towards the front has a lot. There's a huge change in the dead rise between the back and the front of my boat. It's kind of lobster boaty looking, if you will. And then other boats will be much more, sort of less of a change, if you will. And that I thought was interesting.
Like less of a change, meaning there's a V up front, a V in the middle, and a V in the back, and
there may be less difference between those 3 Vs.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And you also, earlier when you were speaking of this, you described why dead rise at the back can be useful.
Yeah, because I learned in this article, which I think was in Soundings, it was talked about the fact that if you have a go fast boat and it gets up on plane, that there is a point at which those boats are designed to have like their center of gravity is further in the back. And they have sort of designed to hit the waves on the back of the boat and not the front.
Technically not the center of gravity, but the point at which the bottom of the boat impacts the water or is hitting the water.
That it was heavier. The heavier towards the back was part of that.
Oh, so maybe it is center of gravity.
But regardless, it had never occurred to me that when you go a different speed. I mean, I guess this is sort of, I guess my experience was that this has happened to me before when I had to go really fast in some very choppy water.
In which boat?
Both in my Menemsha Whaler and also in my Seaway 19 that I drive now, which are very, very different hulls. Mm-hmm. But in both of those boats, I have had to, for some reason, just move. Like it was time to move. Like, it didn't matter what the ride was going to be like. Your spine was along for the ride, right? It was just it didn't matter how it felt. You had to go full speed, and I've had this experience where all of a sudden you're just popping along the top, and I remember being like, why is this so easy? How come I'm not smashing around as much as I thought I would? And I wonder if that's why, like somehow it was riding on a different part of the boat. Mm-hmm. The front of the boat wasn't hitting the waves or something like that. Yep. So that was interesting.
Neither was maybe even the sort of middle or front third of the boat.
Right. And so my reaction to that was, why don't we just drive like that all the time?
Yes.
Why haven't I been driving? How come I'm not, oh, look, it's very choppy. Better go full speed. How come that's not my immediate reaction?
Maybe.
Now it is.
Maybe it's an opportunity for change and growth.
Yes, exactly. It's going faster.
Right. Okay, cool.
Okay,
so
moving on.
Songwriting.
Yes. What would you like to say?
So we did our show with Jay last Monday.
We did.
In his studio in Vermont. In the course of that, while we were talking about the old boat ad of the week, which was a Cool Cigarettes branded Snark styrofoam sailboat that you could order with cigarette box tops and $88.
Yes.
You said, cigarettes and sailboats. And then Jay, you said, I went back and listened to the episode. You said that once and it just sort of went by. And then you said it again. And Jay was like, oh my God. You do a good Jay impression. Can you do it?
Oh my God. No, I don't think that was very good. Doesn't matter.
And then he started strumming and singing.
Yep.
And there was songwriting happening. And then you finished that verse, chorus, hook. Mm-hmm. When he was looking for something, cigarettes and sailboats, cold beers, and
false hopes. Yeah.
And you finished it with false hopes, and he was like, "Oh, that's it." It was like he got all. It was so cool to see him get all excited about it.
Yeah.
And we're doing this because there's been this kind of latent songwriting happening between you and Jay since we started this thing, which is how we end up with the jingles that he makes and sends us. And it's also how we ended up launching a Kickstarter to fund a full-length Bodie Show album, 5 songs of original yacht rock music. Though if we raise enough money, or if I become one of the funders, there may be 4 songs of yacht rock music and 1 song of something that doesn't piss me off.
I think that everybody should take that as a threat and fund it right now.
Okay. But you guys have, in the hope that we raise the money and can do the album, you guys have been very naturally and not even like schemingly just been writing songs. Right? And you like what's it like to try and write a song? I've never done it.
Well, so this is I don't know because I've never done it either, but I like to write poetry, and
you are doing it though.
I wrote literally 2 words of the song with Jay.
But that means you are writing a song.
Okay.
The writing as in the active sense.
Okay. So I don't know, but it's been fun to chat with Jay about it. He sent me like a little structure for like what the cadence of the song might be. And then I tried to fill it in with words, and I did a terrible job in my own estimation, but it was a fun process to think about what you would want to say, and then how many syllables you want to use to say it, and then whatever. And then it's been fun. I think a lot of the stuff that he has liked so far that he's picked up on has been super off the cuff. So so we'll see how it works to do intentional. Or
he called them seeds or something like that. Like I thought of it as when you have a bubble in the water, sometimes it's nucleated around a piece of like flotsam, right?
I know what you mean.
Yeah. So I think of it as song nuclei.
Yeah. So we'll see how it goes. But it's always good to try something new, right?
Are you visualizing
Right,
yourself in one? Yeah, right. That's another part of our show before the show conversation, which went all over the damn place. But are you visualizing yourself somewhere while you're writing a song, which is what you're doing? You are now a songwriter. You're not a song finisher yet.
Okay.
But you're a songwriter.
Yeah.
Were you visualizing yourself anywhere?
No.
Interesting.
I was not.
You were just focused on the words. You weren't
Yeah, I do tend to. I really like the process of putting exactly the right words together to get something across. It's a nice process.
But it's not a visual, like you're not visualizing a scene and then describing it.
No, I didn't do that. I could try that. I like that idea.
Yeah, whatever. That's how I write. Like I just think about like what it would be and then I describe it.
Okay.
But I'm not trying to tell you how to write your song. What?
I feel like you were like anticipating my oppositional defiance in that moment.
Oh no. I could see how you would think that. That was that vibe. It was more like I was actually trying to ground it in being in like being on the water. Right. Because I'm always, whenever we're on the podcast, I'm like, is it Bodhi? It's gotta be Bodhi. But I should probably stop putting that much pressure on myself.
You should. Also feel like it's really easy for me to start sounding really hackneyed. Is that a word? Like just like overly. So if I'm like describing what I'm seeing, it's just magical. You know what I mean? We just go right back to how magical the river is.
Yeah.
Like it's just going to be like, there is a sunset flying over. And I don't know. It just sounds like.
It could be describing experiences instead of things.
Okay. Well, let's keep moving because we have a lot to cover in 15 minutes.
All right. We'll use this. So that's our first plug for, hey, check out the Kickstarter. Go to Kickstarter.com and search for The Boti Show or The Boti Show album.
Yep.
You'll find the project. You may have seen pictures of hats on our social media. Those hats people really like, and they are part of the reward.
How much does it cost to get a hat?
I think the hat. So there's a $5. You can you want to kick us $5. You get stickers and you can nominate a song. That's meant for people who want to be part of the community but don't necessarily have a lot of scratch to part with. And I think it goes from there to. Oh man, I should have it in front of me for this.
You really should.
To be a professional about this.
Can't believe you didn't.
But I think there's a hat only plus stickers plus nominated song.
Tattoo?
Nominated song. Yeah. The sticker pack includes temporary tattoos, lots of other stickers.
Okay.
And probably will include stickers that we haven't even dreamed up yet because
I had the temporary tattoo for most of the weekend. It was delightful.
it worked out.
I loved it.
Okay, cool. How long? Most of the week. Did you scrub it off?
Well, yeah, once it was half off, I thought it was better.
Yeah.
More professional to have no tattoo than a half a tattoo.
Right.
It's a tough call.
Ooh. Right. I have too many ideas. I'm going to shut up. So I think
we don't know how much it costs.
No, the hat. I think the hat reward is $50 because the hat costs us just under 20.
Okay.
So if you support the song, if you support the album at the $50 level, you get a hat, stickers,
All right.
and that means the album will get about $25, about 50% of that.
Right.
Yeah. And that's the song, that's songwriting, but we're going to segue from that into the commissioning song.
Which you and I made up this morning for no reason.
Yeah, we actually haven't gone from... Steph was reading an article that Captain David sent in about spring commissioning.
Yes, he picked up on the fact that we didn't know how to do it, and he's right.
Yeah.
And so he sent... commissioning is, by the way, apparently the word for when you do what we've been talking about for the last 2 episodes.
It's the Bodhi word for getting your act together and like dealing with whatever needs to get dealt with on your boat.
Getting your boat ready for spring.
Right.
Getting your boat ready to go back in the water no matter what season it is.
So you can have a good time for as much of the summer as possible before something breaks.
Yeah.
All right. So we're gonna perform for the first time ever the commissioning song.
Yes. This has never been done before, y'all. And it also might be edited out depending on how this goes.
Oh, that's not it.
I'd like to start this by saying that the intro says, well, it's that time of year again, when those of us forced by meteorological privation, did you hear that, Jeff?
Privation.
To put away our favorite toys can begin thinking of retrieving them from the alien landscape, well said, and putting them back into the water where they belong. Yes, even though it may be cold and white outside, it's time to think of spring recommissioning.
Are you going to sing?
We'll see. I don't know if I am or not. Engine mounts, drive belts. Hold on. Okay, I'm trying to do this. Sinks. We're going to skip that one. We're going to go straight to number 4, which is through hulls. No? Too much?
Do it.
Even synthetic.
You have to sing it, though. You have to sing it.
No, I can't sing it.
All right.
I don't think I can do that one. Maybe I'll try back on number 1. Engine mounts, shine your light on them. Looking for loose or corroded fasteners and cracking otherwise deteriorated rubber. I can't do it. It's fun though.
All right. Let's bring it home.
Okay, hold on.
All right, with a flourish. What? Woo!
All
We
right.
did it.
We have to cut that whole thing.
No.
Yes.
Nope.
And I'm going to totally find a way to take your whole portmanteau home with me. If you're not
Nope. That was great.
No, it's terrible.
Okay.
All right,
well,
moving on.
We'll let the listeners decide.
No. I'm going to be fired from the Bodie Show.
No, you won't. There'll be just me left, and I don't want to do that.
Keep
All right,
going, quick.
Next, the boat of the week. Boat of the week.
Let's go.
Oh, it's that one.
It's the boat of the week, stable and sleek. Check out that vessel, baby, isn't she sweet? It's the boat of the week, boat of the week. Ooh, how I love me the boat of the week. Da 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 da. Hey, yeah, let's check out the boat of the week.
Okay. Captain David coming through. Also Encyclopedia John, as he has become known. If you want to know why John from Brooklyn Boatyard is known as Encyclopedia John, go back and listen to any one of the 4 episodes we did at Brooklyn Boatyard together. And we got 2 from Captain David, 1 from Encyclopedia John, and I think that's it, right?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. Let's make an Encyclopedia John sandwich. We'll start with one from Captain David and then do Encyclopedia John's submission, and then we'll do Captain David again. Cool?
Oh, got it. Okay, yeah. All right, which one do you want to do first? Do you want to do the manatee?
No.
Do you want to do the other one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Captain David sends an email saying, do you think I could put a couple of Evinrude E-Tech high outputs on this? And there's a whole article. U.S. Marshals auctioning off powerboat following owner's conviction in COVID fraud scheme. So there's a lot going on with this whole shebang.
Oh my gosh, that is quite the lead-in.
Yeah, it is I think it's a pickle fork. So 2 sharp pointy bows up front, catamaran offshore powerboat. It's got a cockpit on the top, like an airplane canopy, like a bubble with dark glass, and the people operating it's inside there. And then there's a giant hood, like muscle car hood scoop on top of that thing.
Oh yeah.
At the back. Yeah.
Team CRC?
Team CRC. Yeah. Spooled up. I think spooled up is the name. It must have had turbos on it. They took the motors out of this thing probably before it got seized, and the motors are like buried in a field somewhere, wrapped in plastic, waiting for all the hubbub to settle down. That's my story.
Wow, interesting. There's
so
like a quote in here from the Attorney General's office.
What's that?
Michael DeFree's crimes demonstrated his indifference to both the many businesses suffering the economic effects of COVID-19 pandemic and the American taxpayers who funded the relief programs created to alleviate those impacts. Prosecuting COVID-19 fraud remains a top priority, etc.
Yeah, so there was a lot of money to go around, and then there are people who see that, and then they line up and figure out how to get it. There were some grantees here in Philadelphia who got a bunch of money to run COVID testing, and whether it was deliberately fraudulent at first or not, it became fraudulent because there's just so much money to go around. And
do you think they're going to take the money from selling this thing and like give it back to the taxpayers?
I think the U.S. Marshals do some of that, right?
Would make sense.
Yeah.
So can we start by answering Captain David's question, because it's a good question?
Yeah.
I mean, I think the answer is yes. You could definitely put a couple of E-Techs on that.
So it says it's believed to have last run using Mercury Racing 1650s and number 6 outdrives, which is going to mean something to boat racing people. Mercury Racing and Garmin GPS screens are outfitted in the cockpit, which has seating for 5 people using 5-point harnesses, which means you've got like a lap belt and 2 shoulder belts, and you're all strapped in like you would be on a jet plane. It's in Nokomis, Illinois. But to answer your question, you could put outboards on anything. Exactly.
This is a yes question. The next question is, how would it run?
I believe that since it wasn't, this is me
freestyling like I just did.
Right. This is me freestyling. I believe that it was an inboard outboard. So the weight of those big Mercury Racing engines was at the transom. They were connected to outdrives through the transom, and the outdrives stuck down into the water. So like you had effectively the lower unit of an outboard already in the water on the 2 outdrives, and then the engine was like just in front of that. So I think without too much trouble, if you could deal with the structural parts of having
motor mounts.
Yep, motor mounts with appropriately lubricated Zerk fittings.
Ooh, that's old business.
Oh, okay, we'll get there.
All those Zerk fittings,
you found all the grease fittings.
Ooh, okay.
All right, we'll get back to that. I didn't know we had old business, but we're
I know we're a really tight time frame.
All right, yeah, you could stick outboards on that. You'd have to reinforce the transom and maybe like move the fuel tanks around to rebalance the weight.
Immediately, I want to know the answer to this question. How big do E-Techs get?
Well,
you don't have to have the answer.
They don't get big anymore because BRP stopped making them.
Great point. But
I think they might have gotten up to 300 or 350.
Okay. All right, because immediately you would want to know. Depends on how.
Yeah,
big
Mercury Racing 1650s. I don't think that means that 1,650 horsepower, but it could.
I'm very interested in somebody telling us how to. Maybe you already know this. Translate outboard power into and inboard power to each other.
Horsepower is supposed to be standard across all engines, right?
So
it's a benchmark.
What's the horsepower on this one?
I don't know because it used to have 1650s in it, and I think that's a model number.
Can you? Okay, 1650 is a model number. It doesn't tell us the horsepower.
No.
Okay, got it. All right, we're doing this real quick, but I feel like we covered a lot. That was good.
Right.
So the answer is yes. And as boat of the week, I would say
it's orange and like all sorts of flamey looking. It's an offshore powerboat, matching trailer, three axle. It's long,
feet, maybe.
Yeah, and it's got like in terms of its decorating scheme, they went with the rivet and like metal zipper motif. Like the graphics, there's like lots of rivets and stuff painted or stuck on it, like with stickers. Okay.
That's
other than that, it's like a pretty generic offshore race boat. What makes it interesting is the story, which is why Captain David sent it. So next, Encyclopedia John submitted the Relish 1972. Relish is the name of the boat. It is a 1972 Chris Craft Cavalier Cutlass, otherwise known as a CCCC. 22 feet. It's in Blue Hill, Maine.
Is it a wooden boat?
I'll get there.
Oh, sorry.
Based on the earlier Chris Craft designs of wooden construction like the Sea Skiff, Open Dory, and Cavalier, the Chris Craft Cavalier Cutlass provides its owners with all the great characteristics and sea kindliness of wooden predecessors, but an easy to manage and maintain fiberglass construction. So this is that era that you're fascinated with.
Sea kindliness?
We'll get there. You ask too many questions, we're going to go over.
I know, we're already going to go over. We're going to have to do a 2-part show.
Okay. So you're fascinated with when the wooden boat manufacturers made fiberglass boats that look like wooden boats.
Yeah. I mean,
This nails that.
yeah. So this is fiberglass lapstrake.
Yeah.
Okay.
So lapstrake, part of sea kindliness can be lapstrake provides like a little bit of lift where all of those lines are when you're going
Sea
fast.
kindliness is a lovely word.
Yeah.
It's delightful. I
Yeah.
didn't
Sea
know that
kindly.
was-
Yeah.
Never heard that word before.
Well, you're always looking for a sea kindly boat.
Of course. I just
You didn't know that?
I mean, I feel like it's related to the word seaworthy.
Seaworthy is it'll get you home safe. Sea kindly is if it's seaworthy, it'll get you home safe. If it's seaworthy and sea kindly, it'll get you home
Feel
safe.
good while you're doing it.
Feel good while you're doing
Okay,
it.
could you tell me, are there other C words I don't know about?
I'm sure.
Okay, I need to know about that.
Okay.
All right.
Let's make a list.
Okay, keep it up. I like the way it looks. It's pretty.
Yeah. All right. Let's describe it. I'll describe it.
Okay. That'll be more efficient.
Yeah. Well, it'd be real efficient if you describe it. You're like, I like it. It's hot. I want to ride in and drive it. Yes.
It's a pretty gray color.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It has a raked stem, which means the bow is pointy, and the angle of the line of the bow is at about like probably 60 degrees off the water, where 90 would be a plumb bow straight up and down. This is at about 60 degrees off the water. There's a nice smooth sheer, not too sweeping, back to the stern. The stern actually slants back, which is a pretty design motif. And it's a walk around style. So there's a center. It's not a center console, but there's like a center cockpit, which is up high, and it's a sort of a triangle shaped, where it's not a right triangle, but it's not too far off actually, where the hypotenuse of the triangle is parallel to the water, parallel to the run of the boat. And then there's a slant up to the top of the windshield and then a longer slant back. And it has a bimini on top of that, just a little one. And the top of that triangle is clear because it's a windshield. And the bottom of that triangle is fiberglass. And some of the sort of striping from these molded in lap strakes, because lap strake construction is when it's like we were stumbling around this when we were trying to figure out Carvel planking versus lap strake. This is like clapboard siding, but that there's a really you can walk around the center cabin situation, which is cool in a 22-foot boat, to stand or sit up front, and there is sit
up front. There's a little seat in the front?
My guess is that there isn't, that there's just a deck, but that if I were on this boat, I would immediately go up there and I would sit on that deck and I would lean back against the slant of that cockpit.
Right. It's an inboard, clearly.
Yeah, it's a straight inboard, and it's got just a traditional straight inboard plane. There's a big stern seat across the back, an engine box, vinyl covered engine box in the middle, driver seat, passenger seat. Ooh, there's a toilet underneath the console. On the passenger side, and storage on the driver's side, and then there's a little V-berth up in there. Let's see if there's interior pictures. There's a picture of it underway. Oh, it's got like a nice curvy stern. There's one of these boats that's like looks kind of derelict down along the Schuylkill River at this cool old, as in it's been around for a long time, and one of the two buildings is old, but a swim club. It's in the parking lot of that. I'm gonna go check it out. Oh, it doesn't have a.
No.
It doesn't have a cockpit up front. It's all cabin.
Yeah. It's cool. Interesting looking.
Yeah. This thing's been well taken care of.
It's 2010.
A refit. Motor and gas system completely replaced as part of a 2011 refit, rebuild, restoration. So it's listed for $30,000. This is a cool old boat.
There's also an old.
There's an old boat ad.
Boat ad.
This is going to be a 2-part episode, so you can go do your meeting at 11.
There's like, can you do the song in the middle? Can we do like a old boat ad sandwich in the middle of boat of the week?
Yeah.
All right.
Damn it. I got to label my buttons.
us some of them old boat ads.
Here is the ad from what looks like a catalog, the Chris Craft 1969 catalog for the 22 Cavalier Cutlass fiberglass. Note that they're doing a dash fiberglass just to clarify that it is not wood. They may have still been making wood boats at the time. Chris Craft's noted fiberglass technology was employed to produce a fiberglass version of this popular Cavalier design, and the result is a spirited new boat with almost unlimited versatility. She's a superb fishing boat. Some swear she was designed with coho fishing in mind. Coho, that's a salmon. Thanks to her seagoing hull configuration of a convex dory-type bottom and lap-strake sides. Beam is 7 feet 10.5 inches, which means that she's trailerable, and there's plenty of cockpit room. Twin berth platforms, a marine toilet, a 3-shelf locker, and a ventilating cabin are standard in the cuddy cabin. The stern has a 3-place lounge seat. With all this, she is a lively performer. A new 230 horsepower V8 engine delivers speeds to 39 miles per hour. Well, that's it for this show. Steph and I had to go to a meeting, and we ran out of time. And then after the meeting, Steph took off. We had other Boat of the Week submissions that we're going to have to cover in a future episode. And we're really grateful that you listen. As always, email us at theboatyshow@gmail.com. And please do check out the Kickstarter where we're trying to fund the production of an album of original yacht rock music, 5 songs. Go to kickstarter.com, search for The Boaty Show or The Boaty Show album, and you should find it. And there's a bunch of great rewards for people who back us. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.
Yo ho ho, that's it for the Boaty Show. Back the cooler, grab the lines, let's